don't know, I just feel like going off on a tangent. So, let me see if I can get this right. Reciprocity. Reciprocity. If somebody's not reciprocating what you're putting out, pull back. If you have people who are false in your life, and let's say you can't get them out, you stay strong in your love. As if you had a child that was a little bit of a roughneck. Does that make sense? It's not that we don't have time. It's that we have value. Ooh. We have value. And if someone cannot understand the level of love that you're at, or just simply can't be nice, even in their head, because as an empath, you know that you sense that shit, and you're not crazy, and you're not feeling things that are off, and you're not paranoid. If you feel that stuff, you gotta talk to yourself and knowing like, you wanna act like that? Okay. You get what I'm saying? It has to be so strong to the point where you have to let it roll off. Roll off. Now, when we have a monkey mind meaning something keeps popping up over and over and over and over and over in our head, we can't get it out of our head, you have to understand that it's not necessarily a devil. It's not necessarily a psychic attack. There's way too much spirituality out there right now that is deceiving our own spirit into us thinking it's this and that and the other. There's not enough mental health being attended to. There's this guy that I follow, Alan Robards. She talks about how your mind will just keep on holding on to things. And you holding on to something like that within your mind, I don't know what he says, but what I'm gathering is it's like fear of letting go because of a preconceived notion of you thinking that something good could still come out of it, even though you're betraying yourself by trying to attend to somebody even in your mind. Because you've romanticized, or you have imagined something beyond of what the situation is. Now, how do you decipher between your imagination and your intuition? That's where you have to get real and get grounded and really, I don't want to sound typical, but you have to write down like the pros and cons of those thoughts if it goes that far. You know what I mean? Or just in your head. Is this gonna matter in 5 years? Is this situation uncomfortable and can I not get out of it? If so, say you're in a situation, right? And you can't get out of it right now. What can you do to not uphold those thoughts within your mind of energy around you that's uncomfortable? That spectrum even goes into the flight or fight mind state. You know, there's so much stuff psychologically wrong with us right now. Not wrong with us, but interwoven, I'm going to say. I like to choose words that sound better. There's so many things interwoven in our mind state that isn't even coherent with what's actually going on. You get what I'm saying? Like, we think it's this, but it's actually something else, or something deeper, or not anything at all. But it's like, to mentally heal yourself, you have to take a little bit of steps. And like the Egyptians, they trained their brains. They knew about the brain. Like, no disrespect to everybody who's pushing out knowledge. I do the same thing, but I hardly talk about anything that like this, like to the point of this nature. But it's like pushing out so much knowledge and all this stuff. You're not pushing out anything that is going to necessarily help the mind. There's been posts that I've seen, like people say like, I don't care about, I'm going to post this if you like it or not. It's not a matter of fact of liking it. It's like you have to understand that, especially as African Americans or any minority, we have a lot of mental dis dis-ease. And when you go to help somebody, or you're trying to help somebody, you want to take them out of what they're say they're from religion, right? No disrespect. They're in religion and they're going into something else that's the truth. You have to understand that there's a cognitive dissonance and you're messing people up. You're not understanding what you're posting. I've been I've been guilty of that, but I'm seeing now that like my mind has like gone haywire because I'm like thinking, oh my god, all this knowledge, when you're not necessarily giving anybody the true authentic um, nature of who they are. Know thyself. That's who we are as a culture. Anybody right now, studying Kemetic knowledge or anything like that as a culture, but you're not teaching nobody who they are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Because you can learn all the knowledge that you want in the world, but your character is still like Elmer Fudd, okay? You know what I'm saying? Teaching, if you want to help somebody grow, honestly, start posting stuff about cognitive dissonance and how the mind works and how to move forward. I'm about to go off. You know what I'm saying? So that when you are really trying to help somebody, their ease in their mind will be more, it'll be easier to help understand that we've been deceived by the masses. Does that make sense? I just went off on a tangent. I don't know, but that's my message for the day. I hope everyone's doing grand. Um, I know that no one's really reaching out anymore, and I know that people are really against Christianity, but you have to understand that there is some stuff in there that did teach you to get to where you are right now if you were from there. Uh, there is some word in there that is some from God. You pray before you read it. Yes, it's been tampered with, but you have to understand that scriptures were taken out. The book of Enoch, the book of Asher, um, I feel are all African derived and just tampered with. Excuse me. So Christianity taught me about love. That's how I knew how to love when I was little. I was off the charts, and I closed it off because I jumped into Kemetic knowledge and I got distraught because of trauma and all this stuff, and it's all the same thing. But it's like, remember, take what you can and leave the rest. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're at a level of consciousness, when you go to help somebody, your ego doesn't need to be in it, because you're not lowering yourself. You have to have compassion. I watched a pastor today who said this. You have to have compassion to be able to go here to help them. You get what I'm saying? You don't go there and stay there to pull them up all the time. You know what I'm saying? But help. We're supposed to be helping each other, nurturing, loving, kind. Like, call somebody right now and ask if they're okay. And if they don't reciprocate with like the energy that you want, it's okay. Just like find somewhere genuine in your heart to reach out to another person right now, because a lot of people are alone. Like, so many people have suicidal thoughts, depression, and no one's giving a what. No one's asking, are you okay? No one's asking, do you want to talk about this? Like, oh, I don't have time. You have all the time in the world right now. Like, this is the time to find your heart. There's so many signs of like the all-seeing eye. Your heart is actually the generator for the rest of your chakras. So all of you are so, use your third eye and da 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 da. No, like, your heart is the generator for all your other chakras. If your heart's messed up, you ain't seeing nothing, honey. You ain't seeing what you're supposed to really, really see. And people are even staying in the third eye. We have like, I want to say 6, depending on what type of entity you are, whatever. But you guys get what I'm saying? Like, your hearts need to be tended to right now. That's your garden right there. I don't know what chapter or what verse it is, scripture it is in the Bible, but it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. You guys feel me? Alright, anyway, I don't know what verse it was, but I hope everyone's doing cool and they got something out of this.